If you feel like you're working hard but not getting any closer to your financial goals, or slowing down, traveling more, spending more time with your kids, then this video is for you. Financial freedom isn't about making more money, but it's about having smart systems in place to begin with.
My wife and I both worked as physician assistants. We had demanding schedules, we had high student loans, and we had the same stresses that most other people have. But we set up several foundational systems early that jump-started us and set us ahead in our financial journey. Those systems eventually led us to leaving our jobs and travel full-time with our kids. In this video, we're going to walk through the 5 foundational systems that we use to set up our lifestyle that we have today.
And if you're new here, my name is Anna.
And I'm Steven.
We travel full-time with our 2 young kids. We're currently in Ecuador, and we're going to tell you everything that you need to know in terms of setting up your financial situation to make travel possible for you and your family. So the first financial system that we set up for ourselves that really worked out well was automations. And what this meant for us is that in our job as physician assistants, when we signed up for our 401k, we made sure that 20% came out of our paycheck every single paycheck.
Yeah, we paid ourselves first. This was one of the best things that we ever did, and we never saw that money coming into our bank account, so we never needed to want to spend it. The other thing is this is a pre-tax account, which means it lowers your tax bracket, which means you keep more money in your pocket every year.
Which is great because by the time you retire, that money's already sitting there waiting for you.
And since we started so early with our journey with our 401k, that money compounded for 10 years in our career, and it's going to compound for an extra 40 years after that when
we started when we were 24, 25 with our jobs. Now we're 37, so that money is compounded every year. Because what's the market average?
Yeah, the market average since the beginning of the stock market is 10% every year with about 3% interest rate. So you get to keep like 7% every single year on average for the entirety of the stock market. We didn't stop there. We also contributed to a traditional IRA. This was something that we made like a bill payment, and it was a non-negotiable bill payment like a mortgage or a rent payment. We paid this every month as well. So again, we paid ourselves twice every month first.
Now the second one is just as important because this is something that we truly believe in that made our lifestyle possible for full-time travel. We call it lifestyle creep. So this is as you make more money, you surround yourself with people that you work with, that you know, neighborhoods that you move into. Everybody starts to have a lot of the same things, buying new cars, and you keep upgrading with more money that you make. But as you upgrade, when you make more money, the money keeps going away every month and you're like, where did it go? So instead of spending more money, I mean, we did kind of lifestyle creep for a little bit, but we realized it, we saw it, we made changes, and we started taking that money and investing it into our travel fund, which eventually led to us being able to travel full-time because we had an extra $100,000 in this account that allowed us to travel that would have otherwise been spent on like lifestyle creep, right?
Yeah.
Just everything that comes out every year that people tell you to buy, that ads tell you to buy, don't do it anymore. Be intentional with your spending.
Does the spend serve a purpose? Does it serve a purpose for your long-term goal of travel?
And don't just think like, this makes me happy right now because I'll fit in with my friends. Think, what is it actually serving me in the long term? Please. The third financial system that we all need to think about is paying off your debt.
Yeah.
Now, we came out of school as physician assistants. I had $50,000 in debt. He had $110,000 worth of debt, which is a lot. And there was a good interest rate on every little chunk of those loans that we needed to pay on. And they were accruing the whole time we were in school for 2 years.
What we did was we did the avalanche method, which is we took the biggest pot of money with the biggest and highest percentage interest rate, and we tackled that first while paying the minimum balance on all the other tiny loans after that.
Yeah, that way each one got a little bit of attention, but the ones with the highest interest that would have accrued more money for us to pay in the long run, we were chopping away as quickly as possible. If you have any debt, please go ahead and look at it. Look at the interest rates that you have on them and figure out which ones you can start chopping it out away today to start reducing that debt.
Once you pay down that debt, now this extra money that you have sitting there can go to a travel fund.
Yeah, make the travel fund possible. The emergency fund, the travel fund, these different bank accounts where you can pile up your money for yourself for later, it's definitely worth it. So speaking about emergency funds, when we get into the next system, we were developing these pots that we were dumping money into after we were done paying off our high debt, right?
Yeah, the extra buckets that we had were the high yield savings account, which is a savings account that had 3 to 4% interest rate.
which was good.
That helped us out, and we just threw extra money into that, and that was our travel fund account. The other one was our taxable brokerage account, and this is money that you put into the stock market, and then therefore you can also take it out whenever you need to. There's no real penalties in taking that out.
Yeah, it was easier to obtain as though it were a transaction from your bank account, right?
Yeah. It's not as tax efficient, but it's more liquid.
So I think the biggest thing with making these buckets with our account is that it gave us breathing room so that if something happened, like we had our emergency account and our travel fund, those were like our two buckets that we really dug down into. So if something happened, we didn't have to, stop paying our 401k. We didn't have to stop paying ourselves. That was never touched. But now we had more room to dig into this emergency fund if we needed to for extra cash if our paychecks weren't handling it. And also give us the runway to take a year off because we had dumped so much money into it. The high yield savings account is building, it's getting interest, we're still contributing to it. You're able to take a year off at that point. So the fifth system really turns into your why. You have to think, why do you want to do this? It can't just be, I'm making money to make an account, to put money away, to retire when I'm 65. No, like you have to think differently at this point. Are you going to climb the ladder, the corporate ladder? What is that ladder leaning against? Is it leaning against a company that if you get injured, hurt, if you want to leave for a sabbatical, if you want to do anything different, are they still going to support you for that?
Likely not.
Yeah, so you have to think, what do I want out of my life? What is this account going to do? What is this extra income going to do for me?
And the biggest thing, it gives you freedom. Freedom to make choices that you otherwise couldn't do because you're reliant on your job for income.
Yeah, you have to start
stability.
thinking differently about it.
Yeah, and this goes into, why am I doing this? What am I spending my money on? Am I buying freedom for myself, or am I upgrading my life? For us, we wanted more freedom of time, and more chances to do things with our children.
Yeah, to break this down, what our life looked like before we had this financial freedom was I was working 12-hour shifts. He was working 10 to 12-hour shifts. We were getting paid generously. I will not say that didn't give us the opportunities we have right now, but I was exhausted on my days off of work, laying in bed, couldn't get out to go to certain activities with my kids. Just so much of me felt like it was depleted, and I was unable to fill my cup, my kids' cups, my husband's cup of being there for anybody else in my family, because I had to pour so much of it into work. And I felt like I was a great employee. I got great compliments, I got the raises, but there was nothing left. This is where you have to start thinking, are you happy with where you're at? Do you want something different? Are you ready to look at it differently and really kind of look at all the numbers, break it down, and start getting serious about it?
Budget, see where you're spending your money, cut your money where it doesn't serve you, and allocate that money to your 401k or for the travel fund. These are the foundations that really helped us out to do what we do right now.
If you want to see the rest of this series of how we made and funded our gap year, make sure you hit subscribe, and we will see you in the rest of our series. We'll walk you through how we made everything happen.